Hey, Mech Warriors, welcome to Bad Ben's Battle Mechs. I'm Bad Ben, and today I want to talk about the Ghost Dogs, or more specifically, about the Ghost Dog Trilogy, which is a series of two novellas and one short story written by Bryan Young and released fairly recently. So, first of all, this is just the Sarna page for the Ghost Dogs. Right? You can come over here and have a look at it and read about them a little bit. But if you really want to know about the Ghost Dogs, you got to read all their books, right? And so I just wanted to first go over what is the trilogy, what are the three different books, or short story in one case. So the first one we have Giving Up the Ghost by Bryan Young. All three are by Bryan Young. I don't know if I already mentioned that. It's 99 pages long. This book was released to all Kickstarter backers for free. So it could be that you already have this book if you backed the Kickstarter at all. If you want to go get that, actually, you can go to this page. I can still come to this page even though my Kickstarter arrived a few weeks ago and get your digital downloads, and it's in here, I believe. Fortunes of War 1 is what it is. Yeah, Fortunes of War 1. Fortunes of War 2 is not the second book in the series. This is its own book. Actually, Fortune of War 2, I'll just give a shout out. This is an excellent, excellent book. I think it's a novella. But like this one alone, yeah, fantastic. I can't recommend it more. Anyways, I'm not here to talk about Fortunes of War. Yes. Two, I'm here to talk about the first one, which is Giving Up the Ghost. All right. So you might already have it if you backed the Kickstarter. If you don't, you can go over to the Catalyst Game Store and Catalyst Game Labs store, and you can buy it there for $2.99, which I think is a totally fair price for a 99-page novella. Second one in the series, this is not released to any Kickstarters, called Let Slip the Dogs of War, also a novella, 147 pages. This one was released 29th of August 2024, and you can, I think the only way you can get it is as an ebook on the Catalyst Game Lab store for $2.99. And then we have the third book in the series. It's not actually a book. This is a short story. It doesn't say how much it costs because it costs nothing. And you can go download this short story for free at the Catalyst Game Lab store. $0 for that. And it doesn't say how long it is, but it's considerably shorter than the other two books. So now that we know what we're talking about, let's talk about the books themselves. So the first one in the series, Giving Up the Ghost, really is setting the stage for the entire thing. It's why the ghost dogs were formed in the first place, and how they deal with a situation that has been just forced on them, which is really bad. I'm not going to get into it. I'm not going to give any spoilers, and how they deal with that. It's really the form. This book is the formation of the Ghost Dogs. First book in the series. That makes sense. It's a lot of fun. I enjoyed this book or novella thoroughly. I like novellas. I like shorter stories, especially when it comes to science fiction. I don't know. I like something that I can just sit down in one evening and read. It doesn't get as deep into characters as, a full-length book. but that's fine because it's just telling a short story, which I really, really liked. I thought this one was a lot of fun. It gives you a good, overview of each of the main characters. They each have their own like chapter written about them and what they're doing. Um, there's some action. I don't think actually. Oh, there is mech action. I was thinking, is there any mech action in this? And it is. It starts with a mech battle actually. So that is Giving Up the Ghost by Bryan Young, the second book in the series. A little longer, 147 pages. Let Slip the Dogs of War. This is probably the best book in this series of 3. It's the story of basically their first real I don't know if it's actually their first real mission as the Ghost Dogs. Maybe there were a few kind of like little things in between. I don't really know about that. But this is them kind of getting their feet, um, figuring out how to deal with a really bad situation, and the whole story is really just about a battle. You know, it's not only mech on mech action. There's a lot of dialogue in between. They do stuff in between. It's not just wall to wall action, although there is a decent amount of battle mech action in this book. But what I really liked about this book was how the two sides were portrayed and how it was kind of like a poker game between the two of them. Um, eh, that was really cool, and bluffing and making a lot of intelligence, trying to figure out solutions to difficult problems, and really the psychological game of it all. And it's less funny and fun than the first one. It's more serious and dramatic, dealing with some, you know, people are dealing with problems on both sides of the of this kind of battle that's going on. Uh, the attackers are the Marian hegemony, which was actually really fun to read. A character from the Marian I can't say it, hegemony. Uh, that's what the Marians, whatever. I'll call them the Marians, who are the what do you call them? The Romans. They fashioned themselves after the whole Roman Empire. Everything is Rome. Anyways, and I've never read really a character from the Marian side, which was really fun. It was nice to good read, and again, I appreciate the shorter length. I really actually got to say, I like shorter length BattleTech books. I'd say 147 pages, 150 pages around there is almost the perfect length for a BattleTech book, in my opinion. Uh, Not that I haven't read novels, full length novels that weren't, really good and deeper, gets more into characterization, but I like something that I could just sit down with in one evening, read start to finish, and it's kind of like an episode of television. Anyways, this was absolutely my favorite book in the series. I liked it a lot. Moving on to the third one, Way of the Ghost Dog. This is much shorter. This was less than an hour to read from start to finish. This is much more fun. Again, it's a bit of I guess I'm not spoiling it too much, a bit of a heist kind of story. Not a bit of a heist. It's a heist story. Absolutely, 100%. Which I always love. I think heists are great with tricks and twists that you don't necessarily know that are coming, and yeah, well written. Probably, I'd say the weakest of the three, only because it was so short. This could have actually been expanded more to, like, I don't know, over 100 pages maybe, but it wasn't, and it doesn't matter, and it's fine. It's good. It's a fun short read. But yeah, one of them is going to have to be the weakest, and it kind of makes sense that it's going to be the shortest of all three. That being said, it's not a weak story by any means. A lot of fun. Anyway, that's the three different books, or two novellas and a short story, that deal with the ghost dogs. And these are the only books so far that deal with the ghost dogs. So if you only read these three things, you are fully caught up on the story of the ghost dogs, which is a very new mercenary unit, right? The timeline is 3147, so this is only like 4 years or 5 years from the most current, which is, I think, 3152, in the Ill Clan era, right? So I imagine these stories are going to go on. I would like to see more short stories. Just short stories. 150 pages, perfect length. If they get pretty popular, I wouldn't be surprised if they got a full-length novel, which would be great too. I like full-length novels, but I really like this kind of just short story format for these books. It's like a series. It's like watching a TV series. You don't have to, get too bogged down into any one book or anything. So that is my review of the Ghost Dog Trilogy, which I absolutely recommend. If you're a Kickstarter, you can get all three books for $2.99 because you only have to buy the middle one. The second one, Let Slip the Dogs of War. You'll already have Giving Up the Ghost, and Way of the Ghost Dog is free. If you didn't back the Kickstarter, you'll also have to buy Let Slip the Dogs of War, but it's another $3, and no, you'll have to buy Giving Up the Ghost. Sorry, I made a mistake there. Also $3. I'd say it's worth it for sure. I'm a fan of BattleTech fiction, and this absolutely does not disappoint. So that's all I got to say about that. Hope you have a good one. Hope to see you next time. Yeah, bye bye.